Hello, good morning. Now, today is there some local news? Not really very local, except we've got some prisons nearby. Two things strike me as very interesting. Number one is Dominic Raab's increased presence as a spokesperson for the government, and number two is the increased presence and reliability of Dominic Cummings. Who would have thought that Dominic Cummings would have been the person who would be giving reliable testimony? I find that sort of slightly laughable, but there we are. This is a story about cocaine in the loo in Westminster, and the Speaker of the House of Commons has ordered in the police to investigate. Apparently there's quite a lot of cocaine in the loo, buckets of the stuff maybe. Why are we surprised? I mean, after all, we know that senior ministers have admitted cocaine use in the past. Mr. Gove, for example, did it. He's on record. And, of course, nobody will talk about the rumours that have that dogged the premiership of Mr. Cameron, that at some point in his past he was allegedly linked to a drug gang at school at Eton. I use the word allegedly very carefully here. And of course, the alleged ongoings of other MPs in the front bench, allegedly on both sides of the House. Cocaine use and drug use seems to be rife in the mother of parliaments. It's rather sad. But it seems extraordinary that when that news is popping up, we also have news peddled by Mr. Raab, the spokesperson for the government, peddled by Mr. Raab, that prisons are now being given specific targets to trim drug use there, and that the government is considering installing scanners to catch dodgy prison warders taking in illicit fare to the prisons. Why are we not putting those self-same scanners in the House of Parliament, where they surely seem to be needed so much more? And then at the same time, we've got this gathering storm that's mounting about the ghosts of Christmas parties past. And again, Raab is wheeled out. Factor 10. Poor man. He's wheeled out, and he says now that, having said there were no parties, he says now that that the police do not investigate events that took place over a year ago. Well, that would be some serious relief to career criminals to hear that. And of course, when it comes to police investigating a party in Westminster, we've got to remember that there are police on duty at the doors of number 10. So they are presumably complicit in the criminal activity of parties being arranged during a formal lockdown. Parties that we could not possibly have organised on our own at home. They were organised and they took place in number 10, not only in the general offices of number 10, but apparently also in the flat of number 10. The flat of number 10. Surely that's the flat used by Rishi Sunak, not by Boris, the Prime Minister. But anyway, who knows where these parties were or were not. What is emerging is a serious case of hypocrisy and cover-up, and it's not a good image for leadership. But we've already had it before, because it's being peddled by Mr. Raab, and Mr. Raab seems to be the master, should we add allegedly, of hypocrisy and cover-up. Remember him on the beaches of Crete slapping on number 10, and while the refugees were lining up to get out of Afghanistan, while Kabul was falling, Mr. Raab was on his back applying more suntan lotion. If we want to look for hypocrisy, we seem to have a very good leader, don't we? There we are. Look, do subscribe to the channel, do let me know what you think, and do ring the bell. And if you know anything about cocaine in the loo in Westminster, I'm sure the Speaker of the House of Commons would be very interested to find out.